Just waiting for people to come in. It's a lovely Friday night tonight. Yeah. So it's probably pretty, people are probably out and about and stuff. What's up, the Pro Gamer Cave? How's it going? Cool. We got a couple people in here. Good to see you all. Good to see y'all. Welcome to the a quick live stream. Hey, David Desjardins, how's it going, man? It has been a minute indeed. Good to see ya. What's up, Damn Sock? How's it going? I don't know what WPO means. Hey, how's it going? Not leaving. Good to see you all tonight, or wherever you are. If it's morning. Hey, what's up, Xavier? Good to see ya. Hey, cheers, Jimmy. Glad you love the channel. Really appreciate it. Happy Friday to you too, Skylander. What's up, Ignoramus? Great to see ya. How's everybody doing tonight? I've donned these blue gloves again. It's a weird feeling. It's been a while, honestly, since the last live stream. Yeah. Well, we got 20 people in here, 7 likes. Thanks for the likes. If you guys want to help get this video out there, be sure to give it a like. YouTube really likes that. It feeds on likes. I'm kind of shirtless right now. You can actually see the reflection. But not pantsless. Not pantless, I should say. So, there was a guy that who interviewed me a couple years ago, and he apparently used to have a YouTube channel that had like over 200,000 subscribers, like a cooking channel. And then he said YouTube took down his channel, and I asked him, why did they take it down? And he said it's because he was filming without his, he was filming butt naked. And then on one of the reflections, like his little fella was reflecting. So he got banned, basically, which is terrible. I mean, to me, it's like, is it really worth, just for small accidents? What's up, Raul Duke? Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed the story, Xavier. His little Pekka was showing. What's up, Becky? How's it going? Good to see you. Good to see all of you guys here tonight, or today, or this morning. Smash that like. YouTube loves it. It's good for your health. It's good for it's good for your grows as well. Yeah. True story, by the way. True story. He's also in the. I don't know if he's doing like myco stuff anymore, but he was doing myco stuff at the time. So yeah, I thought that was a really, really interesting, funny story. So yeah, guys. Well, we got 34 people in here. Good to see you all tonight. As you can see, I was making some special swabs earlier. I was restocking on everything. And I got the labels printed out for the rest of the stuff that I got to get through right here. Loads of genetics. So yeah, if you are, I'm not currently doing US sales, but if any of you guys are outside the US, I do ship worldwide. And what else? I do mentorship, so check out my mentorship details. It's in the description. Just send me an email. Also for the microscopy supplies in the email. And the main thing is my website, MycoSage. That's where I post all my good stuff that I can't post here, which is most stuff. Like I can't post fruits. So I post it all on there, over 100 videos. 100 videos currently, I should say. And some cool benefits, because if you guys remember the last live stream about the Mycolympics, right? Nobody joined for the Mycolympics. So only one person who was a previous member of the super tier posted a picture of, I don't know if you guys saw the community post a while back that I posted, but that picture, Steven Martinez, that was his name. He won. So he won a bunch of stuff, like no competition. So congrats to Steven. But, like I'd like to see some more competition going on, bring it back. So for that, I have actually I haven't announced this yet officially on Discord or YouTube or anything. I wanted to announce it today, but I couldn't get around to it. But for all of you guys listening, starting from this month's Mycolympics, the Mycophiles tier can also join. So if you are an active Mycophile tier member and you fill out the video vaulter form on the homepage of the members page, it's pretty simple. Once you sign up, then it'll take you to the members page, and then there's a form you could fill out there. You just fill it out. Make sure you're already in my Discord server though. Okay, so you have to join the Discord server and then fill out that form. Then you are automatically enrolled into Mycolympics, so you can post. So that's $4.99, and every month we have a cool competition, along with the fact that you gain access to all of my videos. I mean, it's a no-brainer if you ask me. It's you're helping yourself, but you're also helping support my work and this channel, and a way to give a little thanks every month really helps me out. So yeah, because I can't do the genetics tier anymore, unfortunately, due to tariffs. But it's a blessing because that took up a lot of time. So, oh, sorry guys, I just had dinner and it's like really spicy chili. I put like half the hot sauce in there. Ooh. Good stuff. Um, but yeah, I mean, check it out. You know, it's a lot of fun, and some cool prizes. So I was just getting the prizes ready right here. I mean, wow, like no comments. No comments, no new comments, really? That is amazing. I must be so captivating in my stories that everybody's just listening. But yeah, it's been a while, guys. It has been a while since we had a live stream. If anybody is new here and you got questions about growing and stuff, then let me know. Oh my gosh, Becky, thank you so much for the Popeyes fund. Becky just gave me a very generous donation on my PayPal. If any of you guys would like to support me that way, then please check out in the description PayPal donations because YouTube will take 30%. Thank you so much, Becky. That's so nice of you. Really, really appreciate that. I will certainly spend it on Popeyes when they have those great 2-for-1 deals, 3-piece chicken sets. Yo, talking about Popeyes. What's up, Chris? Good to see you. I did not know you were still in the scene, man. So good to see you. Thank you so much, Becky. Happy holidays to you too, and everybody else in here. I mean, it's crazy to think that it's December already. It's Brandon. What's up, Brandon? First time to a stream, rolling up right now, so I'm occupied. Been using your videos to help me with my most recent grow. Awesome, Brandon. Awesome, awesome. Hope they've been helping. I haven't posted one in a while, and I've been working on one on the side. But yeah, it's a lot of things to think about. And I haven't been able to get much work on it recently, but I'm almost done writing the script, so it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one, that's for sure. Sometimes I think like I've been working on this for so long that all of the stuff that I want to talk about is pretty much well in my head. So like I'm like, you know what, maybe I should just pick up the camera, forget the green screen, and just talk like I used to do, and just get it over with. So what do you guys think? Green screen, well edited kind of video, or like more stream of consciousness but gives you all the information you need kind of video without much, you know, flashy visuals and stuff, if any. What's up, Susan? Good to see ya. That's great, Sage. I can plan now for the entry. I'm still laughing about the shirtless Sage doing swabs. Yep, yep. It certainly does paint a picture, doesn't it? Chris says, yeah, I'm still here. Randomly seeing the live. Always good to see you. Awesome, Chris. Awesome, awesome. I haven't been messaging you about the live streams because the last time we talked, you said that you're kind of moving away from Myco stuff. But yeah, if you still want me to send those messages, I'd be more than happy to, man. Bronco says, hello, everybody. What's up, Bronco? It's Brandon says, I haven't grown for a couple of years now, so I needed refreshers, and your videos have been a great help. Right on. I understand that feeling too. When I started this channel, I didn't grow for a couple of years, so I was like, oh, I forgot everything. And then like, you know, I just read like a post online that I used to read, or like a tech, and then like a lot of things will start coming back. So it just like snowballs from there. Becky says, I had meant to enter but got busy with life. I understand that. Well, hopefully this month you can enter. The theme of this month's contest, guys, is the coolest mushroom. Just like a cool mushroom. Okay, it could be anything. It could be something you found outside. It could be something you've grown. Any species. We don't discriminate, as you guys know. So yeah, that's it. That's it. And every month we're gonna have a different topic. If you guys want to pitch a topic, uh, shoot me a DM or throw it out on the live stream, and I'd be happy to consider it. Michael says, I'm watching on TV. I had to go on the phone to chat. Well, who doesn't want to miss this awesome live stream with this fascinating backdrop that we always see on a nice 8K 60-inch TV? Awesome, man. But real talk. I really appreciate you watching and letting me know. Becky says, oh yeah, I already read that. Homeless Dog says, do you think crossing two genetics is a project a beginner can handle? I saw a video recently and I've been thinking about I wouldn't really mess around with it if you're like a real beginner. No. I would get a couple of grows under your belt, make sure that you got the fundamentals down before you even start, talking about doing something a little bit more advanced. And do like lots of research about, what makes a cross and how it works and all that kind of stuff. Because in my experience, I've dealt with sorry guys, it's that chilly. I've interfaced with a lot of people over the years, a lot of them beginners as well, and I've seen many times they try to run before they can walk, and or they think that they're making a cross, but in fact it's not a cross at all. Like these kinds of things, so just get the fundamentals down before you even think about it, is my advice. Mark says, my first girl gave me a lifetime supply. I understand that. Yeah, absolutely. Like most people who continue to are just doing it for the joy of growing, or, like I haven't eaten any, like a decent amount in maybe 2 years, which is crazy to think about. Probably more than 2 years now, actually, 2.5 years or so, which is insane. Micro tasting here and there, but yeah, I just, I mean, right now I'm actually not even growing because I got a backlog of videos and I'm just taking a breather, taking it a little bit easier. I took it pretty hard for the last, a few years, so I'm kind of resting a little bit. Chris says, yeah, dude, I always want to support any ways I can. Taking a break, I just have too much. I understand that, man. I mean, sometimes I got to throw it out, I've thrown out a bunch. Hey, Adam, good to see you too. How are you doing tonight? Ember Phoenix says, I just now got into this. I don't even know you did Mycolympics. That's awesome. Yes, I started my first grow 2 weeks ago, so I don't know if I'll have anything by then. Hey, you know what? Just sign up for the $4.99 tier, and if you are ready, just post it. Just post it, and the community is so good. The mycophilia community in general, really nice people, and it's something to aspire to. Hopefully someday you will be posting. Mark says, Amanitas are filling my neighborhood in Beaverton. Cool, cool. About 2 weeks ago, I was walking around and I found a lot of mushrooms, like brown, like huge ones, and also like a few Amanitas. I haven't found a lot of Amanitas this year, though, for some reason. And now I don't see any like fungi much at all. It's really slowed down, I guess, with the cooler temperatures. Mark says, finding some edible boletes under some local trees this week too. Awesome. And that just reminded me, I did find a bunch of edible mushrooms recently. What was it? I think it was like milk cap. It's got like a milky sap and it smells like tuna. It smells very fishy. And I was like, what the heck is this? And it turned out to be one of those milk caps. And but yeah, the smell was just, ooh, it was very, very tuna-like. But once you cook it, apparently, then the smell goes, and it's quite a gourmet mushroom. So pretty cool. Becky says, I have this box that won't die. It keeps producing here and there. Been busy and haven't gotten around to dumping it, and then just snowed. Freezer tech. Adam says gnats are bad during the summer grow. Sorry to hear that. Arpeggio says the lab is just as much therapy as the mushrooms. Absolutely. Unless you do too much, then it's just work. By the way, guys, smash that like button. Really, really, really happy to see all of you guys here after all this time. We got 40 people in here. Super happy to see you all. But 24 likes. I know we can do it. Let's raise the like. Let's raise the bar. And by the way, affiliates, discount codes in the description of trusted good companies. Thank you. Thank you. Becky says, I have given away more than I have eaten myself. Well, that's good. You know, if you got people to give it away to, that's awesome. Chris says 2 years and not a full taste. Crap, dude. When you taste, it'll be delicious. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely will. I don't know why, but I always have this apprehension. The more I eat it, the more apprehension I have. Like if I eat it, then the next day I want to eat it again. But if I take time off, then I'm like, ooh, I don't know, you know. Oof. Skylander Sky says, new grower gravitated to your videos. Awesome. Curious if you think live casing is for noobs or I should just wait till I get more experience. Hey, you know, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt. Just don't put too much. Just don't put too much. But it's not really for noobs because you really want to have your setup dialed in. In other words, if you have too much humidity and not much air exchange, then the plants are going to die. They're going to get some mold. Now, the mold's not really going to affect the mycelium because it's a different type of mold and bacteria. It just kind of disintegrates, but you know, it could be alarming if you're a beginner to see that. Just, you know, yeah, if you're a beginner, just simplify it, do the basics, do it well, learn it well, and then move on to the next thing. Michael says, I eat my mushrooms all the time. Lucky you. You know, honestly, if I had like my own like house with like a yard, you know, made it all nice and stuff, I would probably be the same. But I live in an apartment, so like I just don't really feel comfortable. Yeah. And I don't want to be like out, like I love being out in the nature, but I don't know. I don't like it like in total public. Travis Rogers says, experiment with boosted growth with hydrogen peroxide. Someone told me it can boost growth and yields as well as eliminate contaminant. No, 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 don't. Don't. Definitely not. Ember Phoenix says, cool, sounds good. I know your Discord has been insanely helpful in getting started. So much good information in there. Awesome, awesome. Yes, indeed, it is, Ember. Glad you appreciate it and enjoy it. What's up, Jennifer Aaron? Oh my gosh, Jennifer Aaron. Are you the same Jennifer Aaron from a couple years ago? A couple years ago, you were posting all the time. Chris says, fruits are in vacuum sealed bags, should stay good for a while. Yes, yes, yes. Vacuum sealed, properly dehydrated in a cool, dark place, and boom, you are good to go for years. Homeless Dog says, my last grow yielded me 163 grams dry. I used 3 pounds of grain and 5 pounds of substrate. Is that a good yield for that amount of material? 163 grams, right? Yeah, I would say so, yeah. I don't know, I usually just stick with basically 1 pound per grow, which is just shoebox level. And if you get maybe 50 to 60 grams maximum off of 1/4 grain for a shoebox over all the flushes, not just like a single flush, but all the flushes usually, that's a good yield, I would say. So if it's 3 pounds of grain, that's about 50, 50, 50, 60, 60, 60 grams each. That's about 180 grams at best, so it's not bad at all. Yeah, 3 pounds of grain. Honestly, what you could do there, your substrate, if you use more substrate, you would get probably more, and you would get bigger flushes. At least if your genetics can make use of it. By the way, I got kind of thrown off for a second because I just saw your Clippy profile picture. You know, just before this live stream, I was checking online, like, why am I seeing like paperclip profile pictures everywhere? And then it was about the Chris Rosman. I don't know if his name was Chris, but it was like something Rosman. But yeah, I watched his videos and I completely agree with it. You know, too many companies spying on our data, and software and no right to repair and all that kind of stuff, you know, planned obsolescence and all that nonsense. Mark says, found one old fir tree in my neighborhood, yielded 9 different species and likely more. Cool, cool. Awesome, Brandon. Smashed that like button. That's what I like to hear. Thank you, thank you. Mello says, good evening from Jamaica. What's up, Mello? Yo, what's up? I'd love to go to Jamaica. Mark says, haven't been logging on iNaturalist, but have been thinking about starting entering my daily fungi finds. Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, that would be good. Jennifer says, good evening from Houston. Oh my gosh, you are the same. Yeah, he is the bomb. Learned so much from this man right here. Oh my gosh, that's so crazy. Good to see you, Jennifer. I didn't know you were still around. Hope you're well. I'm glad to hear that I could help. Maiko says, days or a few weeks in between, you will build tolerance too easy. Yeah, you know, like the thing is, like, some people though don't seem to have any impact. You know, they could take as much as they want and they'll just be fine. Whereas others, like, they take it one day and then it's just like the next day they need, like, you know, like the classic tolerance buildup, you know, double. Too much umami at a time can really dull your taste buds for some people. Whereas other people can have as much umami and then it's just still, you know, very sensitive. Mark says, my next grow will be lion's mane. Right on. Very good for the brain. Becky says, I actually have tried some of mine, but never seen any colors, only micro. Oh, well, hopefully someday you will. Adam says, finally got that golden halo to make prints. The prints are so cool and they're my new favorite now to eat. Right on. Yeah, golden halos are really cool. Yeah, did I make some yesterday? I think, yeah, I did make some yesterday. Not yet, actually. But yeah, it's coming. Micro says, yeah, I like micro. Mr. K says, I think this dude is a stranger danger. Okay. Okay, Mr. K. Mark says, as a noob, I think it's important to strike a balance between just going for it. Worst that can happen is you have some contamination. You have to try again and trying to get everything perfect. Yeah, go for it. Absolutely. But I always recommend doing as much research as possible and just sticking to one method, one well-used method, rather than, because like one thing that I've noticed beginners do is they take one bit of information here and they take a bit there and then they try to fuse it without understanding what makes each one work. And that always fails for a beginner. Mr. K says, this guy's weird. I think this Mr. K dude is a hater. Let's see. Mark says, wish I had gone for it a little quicker. Let's see. Freedom Lover says, I killed my second inoculation by starving it of oxygen in my garage. Feel so bad. I felt like a murderer. Oh, yeah. I mean, they are living things, you know, so I definitely understand that. Like, you know, having to dump like a substrate that doesn't have contamination or anything, but just because it's sort of spent most of its energy, I feel really bad. Yes, homeless dog, doing 2 to 3, like doing shoe boxes. Get rid of any inflatable monotub or any inflatable nonsense. Like, there's no need at all. Just get a tub. Easier to clean, lasts longer, cheaper. You know, it's more inconspicuous, I guess you could say. Also, you could even dub tub it if you wanted. You know, there's just a lot more you can do about it. You can modify it. You can make more holes if you want, or you don't have to make any holes if you don't want. You know, because everybody's setup is also different. Hey, later, Chris. Hope you have a good one. Good to see you again. Homeless Dog says, been thinking about ditching it because I've only done 5 grows, but it low key doesn't hold air that good anymore. Well, there you go. 5 grows and it doesn't hold, like 5 grows and it's done. That's crazy. I still got shoe boxes that I have from when I first started years and years and years ago. Still works fine. Thank you, Jennifer. I'm glad to hear that. So happy because of you and your teachings. I'm really happy that I'm still around as well, because yeah, there's not a lot of us left out there, unfortunately. Knock on wood. Knock on wood. Drodog says, are you still not shipping anything to the US? Yes, unfortunately, Drodog, except for like gifts, basically, essentially, like if you win the Mycolympics, then I could send it, but I'm not doing like sales in the traditional sense of, you purchase something and then I send it over. I can't do that anymore to the US, unfortunately. Hopefully someday the laws change so that I can, but currently just to stay safe, I'm not doing it. But yeah, if you want to join the Mycolympics, for example, prizes, gifts, that kind of thing, I'm still doing. Mark says, I love living in Oregon. I'm 61 and moved here 10 years ago. I find fungi every day of the year in my hood. Don't hesitate to visit or move here. Cool, Mark. Yeah, that is a hot spot. That is definitely a hot spot of cool wood-loving, cold wood lovers. I'm based in Canada, in Vancouver, British Columbia. So there is a lot of, we share a similar environment in the Pacific Northwest. We don't get azures out here, but we get a lot of other cool stuff as well. Jennifer says it is hard to replicate nature in a box. Definitely, definitely. Like the thing that we do, we have to basically strike a balance um, between trying to recreate conditions, nature conditions, but also we have to accept the fact that what we're doing is not the same goal as nature, as what they would be doing in nature, which is basically to reproduce, right? What we're trying to do is we're trying to maximize yield. So like core lovers, right? If you find it in a field or something, you find it on dung, maybe you're going to have maybe 3 fruits out of a patty, and that's it because there's just not that much nutrition. But then what we're trying to do is we're trying to grow like as much as we can in the shortest amount of space, and they're all pushing up against each other and they're all squished. We're like, yeah, this is great yield, and that's not nature, But so it's interesting. So because I mentioned that because I've heard people say like, yeah, you have to like completely replicate what they do in nature. But then I say, wait a minute, but we're not trying to get the results of nature. Our intentions are different. So we have to make some modifications. But certain things for nature, I definitely do integrate like live casing layers, putting plants on there because I feel like kind of any potential contaminants and stuff sort of gets attracted to the roots. And also potential nitrogen fixation going on during a grow process, which I can't really quantify. But I have talked to people who have also done it and have found a lower rate of contamination by putting live casing. In fact, the longest grow that I ever had, that lasted over 6 months before I dumped it, before it finally tracked out. That was Apolensis, actually the original Apolensis tub. Um, that one, 6 months plus, no problem, live casing. In fact, midway through, I also added more plants on there because the past ones died. So I just added more plants and really good. What up, Mohegan? Good to see you. It's been a while. Good to see you, Mohegan. How's it going, man? I feel like I haven't seen you in like 2 years or something. Miss Carto, hello Sage and all, building a laminar flow hood this weekend. Looking forward to be able to use agar without being 99.99% contamination. Congratulations, hope it goes well. And hope you're having a good night. Mark says my love of fungi includes a love of lichens. I love monitoring the tiny fairy cups turning volcano rocks in my neighbor's landscaping into life tissue over the years. That's really cool. Yeah, lichens are really cool, definitely. Like I don't know too much about them, but to me it's like they're almost like kind of a fusion of fungi and plants. Andrew Hunter says, much love from Ohio. Love your simpler approach. You have helped me tremendously. Awesome, Andrew. Glad to hear that. Mello says, what are we growing? And you should come to Jamaica. Yeah, I'd love to. Um, Currently, I'm actually not doing anything. I'm not growing anything at all for various reasons. Yeah, I mean, one of the reasons is because I don't have to do the genetics every month anymore. But another is like I'm just sort of taking a break at the moment. I got too much, trying to simplify my life a little bit. But I'm getting the bug. I'm getting the itch. I'm actually thinking about going back to my F1 spores of my cross attempt between Florida and Mexican grass lovers called Apolentis, and like seeing like what else it's gonna throw out. Rabbit Zombie says, we appreciate you guys that are still here. I'm new to the game here, but have an outdoor bed of wine caps and I have a couple of liquid cultures and some stuff for indoors on the way. Going to try shoebox tech first. Cool, cool. Welcome to the scene, man. Danny Cox, what's up, Danny Cox? I feel like I've heard from you before. Love your channel. I've learned a lot from you. Thank you. I always have flushes that are not a full canopy. What can I do to have a full canopy? Okay, that's a good question. So basically, first thing first, the most important thing is genetics. Okay, and the second thing is have the perfect conditions in your grow. Have everything dialed in. Have everything to the right amount of moisture. You know, sterilize everything that needs to be sterilized, the right amount. And that's basically it. Make sure they have enough fresh air exchange. Make sure they have enough humidity. That's what it comes down to. But if you don't have the first part down, good genetics, then this part is not going to help. Homeless Dog says, what size of shoebox do you use? 6 quart. I did one grow in a 16 quart, but they started hitting the lid and bending and the caps were getting wet. Okay, yeah, so that is a good question as well. So basically, I have a video called Should You Dub Tub? I suggest you check that out because in that video I talk about, by the way, 16 quart is not really a shoebox. That's bigger than a shoebox. 6 quart is the real shoebox. There's a little bigger one. It's not even a shoebox. A 12 quart one is more like a sweater box. So there's two things you can do. First things first, if they're hitting the lid, it's not a problem. They'll just push it up. Now, if their caps get wet, it's also not a problem. It's not a problem at all if they're wet. But if it does bother you that much, then what you can do is you could also put on another tub on top of that. But that comes with its own problems because it's going to have a little bit worse surface conditions, or I should say it's a little bit worse of a microclimate because there's just more space. A shoebox can keep things more moist if you just keep the lid on. But if you are getting like a lot of fruits and they're getting really tall, and you're getting too big of a gap, then it would actually be good to also have a dub tub on there because it's going to dry out quicker if you don't, like your substrate, because there's a big gap, a lot of air comes in, or you could just mitigate that by misting more. And honestly, you don't even have to use a tub on top of there. You could just put a plastic bag, even like a grocery bag or something, because they all accomplish the same thing, which is to maintain a good microclimate. Miss Carto says Jamaica's beautiful. Really want to return someday. I went there like when I was like a kid, like before I even had memory, like really young. Apparently, my parents, like apparently I went to Bob Marley's house, which is crazy because I'm like a huge Bob Marley fan. In fact, YouTube notified me that I'm in the top 0.5% of all Bob Marley listeners in the world on YouTube. That's like 20 million people, which is pretty insane. But yeah, I love Bob Marley. And what was I gonna say? Yeah, they were talking about how like they had to have like this driver go through the Blue Mountains and just like terrible conditions and like a thunderstorm. Good stuff. I'd love to go. I'd love to go to like the nature part, just the mountains and the seas. Mello says, I'm born in Norwal. I just live here, so can't talk for all people. But yes, they do love America here. Ignoramus says, shoebox for life. Hell yeah, shoebox life. Dro Dog says, speaking of wood lovers, are they, the wavies, really that much tastier? Like I've read about wood lover paralysis as well, which sounds terrifying. Okay, so this is another good topic. So um, in my experience, it depends. It depends on the season. It depends also on the patch. And that also goes for the compounds responsible for wood lover paralysis. Okay. Certain patches seem to have that more than others, from what I have congregated in my research. And for me personally, I've had like PEs were tastier than wavies, from what I've tasted. But then again, those wavies might have been stored wrongly because that was before I was in the scene, like I am now. And it was handled by just like regular street people. But yeah, wood lovers. Honestly, I've tried others, like similar species that I've personally foraged, and I didn't get any paralysis, but I didn't take all that crazy amount. Um, just like a quick meal, right? Um, but that was pretty tasty too. That was pretty tasty, I gotta say. I think I did, yeah, I think I only had about 0.75 dried, and the overall thing was it was pretty good. But it wasn't like crazy. It wasn't like poo lovers. It wasn't like poo lover TTBVI and Okies or anything like that. Not even close. Adam says, sterilize or pasteurize substrate. I've had better results. Sterilize, what should I do? Depends on your substrate, Adam. Depends on your substrate. If it's manure, then definitely pasteurize. Definitely not sterilize. If it's cocoa coir, I just pour boiling water on there. You don't even have to. It doesn't need to be sterilized or pasteurized or sanitized even. Sorry, it's that chilly. Dijon J says, Jamaica is unfortunately a scammy dump now and dangerous in non-tourist areas. Steve the Borg says, hi, I'm joining the list. Awesome, awesome. Sign up for the Mycolympics by signing up for the $5 tier at MycoSage. That's the website in the description. Gain access to all my exclusive videos, 100 videos currently and growing. Albeit I haven't posted one recently, but every day I'm like, oh, I'm gonna post it today. Not yet, but it's coming. And get some cool Discord benefits and be able to compete in the Mycolympics for cool prizes. Cool prizes. Okay. The Higgins says, yeah, it's been about that, thinking about starting to grow again. Took a break from it. Miss it. Cool, cool. I feel like there's a lot of like old familiar faces in this live stream, which is awesome. I wasn't expecting this. Steve the Borg says, I want someone to grow on morning glory seed as a grain. It's not really a grain though, morning glory seed. And generally seeds are not very good spawn in general. Aaron says, trying some Neglect Tech shoebox. That's why, for example, like with a wild bird seed, we take out all these sunflower seeds. Aaron says, trying some Neglect Tech shoebox. First time running Pisa. You have any experience with it? Yes. Actually, no. I just have experience with the Amazon, but I don't have the Pacific Exotica Spora. That was the name of the company. That company's version of Amazon, which is what it is. They also have Pesh, P-E-S-H, which is Hawaiian. But yeah, they don't exist anymore. But basically, it's a core lover. It's a core lover. And you say that you're doing Jack Frost, same thing. Treat it just like Jack Frost. That's also another core lover. Thanks in advance, Jack Frost. First attempt at Neglect Tech is fully colonized. Thanks to you, brother. Awesome, Aaron. Glad to hear that. Hope you have a great, fruitful harvest for your family and friends. Just in time for Christmas. Steve the Borg says, when does your memory start? Mine starts at 2. Well, which memory are we talking about? FIFO says, Sage is alive. Nice to see you. How's it going, FIFO? Yes, indeed, I am. I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm doing better than I was before. making progress here and there, little by little. Thanks for asking. Myco says, I have some really good experiences with 64-ounce cooler cups from 7-Eleven and some plastic wrap. Right on, some kind of, it's like a bottle tech. Very nice. What's up, Winnow Bagel? Nice name. Ember Phoenix says, my dang Wi-Fi dropped, but earlier someone mentioned gnats. I transferred some of my tomatoes to indoor pots for winter. Uh-oh. But now I have fungus gnats inside. Any tips on dealing with them? Yes. Yes, indeed I do. I don't know if I have any I could show you. But what you want to do is you want to get, you want to water your tomato plants with BTI. That's a beta thurgen israelensis or something like that. The land that should not be named. BTI, okay? So basically, what it is it kills mosquito larvae. It kills mosquito larvae, but it also kills gnat larvae. So that's why it's very, very effective, and it's just a bacteria. Okay, so it's not going to harm, organic stuff like your plants. It just really harms the larva. And also, so you want to water your plants with that, right? It's like mosquito dunks. That's what they call them. They call them mosquito dunks, or BTI if you just want the compound, the bacteria itself. You could buy like powdered forms and stuff like that. And also for your grows themselves, what you want to do is you want to take your mister bottle and dissolve some BTI in there. And then when you mist it, mist it with BTI. And I would change the water probably once a week with some new BTI and just keep going. Sulfur tufts will cause WLP without the fun. Mark says, anyone else hesitant to, okay, let's not use the T word, Mark. You could say taste experience or gourmet experience. Anyone else hesitant to taste the past few years? These times feel so dark and uneasy. Feel like I would almost be polluting a pure space by going there under these conditions. Feel like no further growth until basics fixed. Well, that's very humble of you, Mark, but I think, me personally, I think you should, if you want to go, I think you should go because it's not like, you are personally responsible for everything or anything like that. And maybe, who knows, maybe the spirit, of nature can actually help us. I think maybe in these times, we need it the most. Society as a whole, people as a whole, to get in touch with what's really real and important. Michael says apple cider vinegar in a cup. Yeah, that's a good one, but the problem is if you just do that alone, then oftentimes what ends up happening is they can actually find their way out. There's like a good technique for that where you take like a bottle and flip it upside down, and then there's like a bowl of apple cider vinegar. And then like the gnats go in there, but it's really hard for them to go back out because the bottle is actually very close to the surface of the vinegar. But yeah, it's the thing about that is it's like it's inferior because it doesn't cure the problem, which is what BTI does. It gets to the source of it and it just kills the next generation. As crazy as that sounds, as dark as that sounds. Whereas before you're just trying to mitigate, the flies themselves. Jennifer says, GTs are my specialties. Renee Hauser says, when's your birthday? Sorry, Renee, that is a confidential information that I'm not comfortable sharing. Miss Carto says, after I get all the rice colonized, I'll be spacing out a 60-quart monotub, 5 times 30 quart, 2 times 15, 5 6 quarts. Spacing them out, of course. Wife keeps giving away my hard work. After I get all the rice colonies, I'll be spacing out a 60-quart monotub. That's a lot of stuff going on at once. Oh wait, it's not going on at once. Cool, cool. Yeah, that's good. You got a bunch of stuff going, different sizes. I mean, it's always good to try out different ones. You might want to also try bags as well. Bags really are the future, at least if you just want to go for pure yields. You don't get the prettiest fruits, but you can definitely maximize yield in a small space. Travis Rogers says, I worry about spore syringes having just a creative strain name and not the scientific name of the product. Lack of information regarding growth parameters and fruit conditions, pictures of fruit. So yeah, spore syringes and stuff and the naming can be certainly very confusing, but it's actually very, very simple. Most of the spore syringes that you see sold with all these crazy names, right? All these names, the most prevalent one are core lovers. And obviously that's not the name of the species, and that's purposeful because I cannot say it. If you want to inquire about what I'm actually talking about, just go on the Discord server, ask some people, and they'll help you out. But yeah, they're all the same species, so the way they grow is all the same for the most part, for most of them. Most of the popular ones, I should say. I wanted to say something, but I totally forgot. Homeless Dog says, do you think maybe I should switch strains? The 6-quart shoebox looks like it's about 5 inches tall, but I have only grown blue magnolia from TBG, and they are usually taller than that. They'll basically push it up. They'll push up the lid. Check out my video just in general, should you dub tub, because I talk about this in detail. Becky says, gnats, peroxide, but what works wonderfully is bright yellow paper with a thick layer of Vaseline on a portion of the paper and set it in the plant. You can glue it to a popsicle stick. Dijon says, I'm going to join the Discord and create chaos. Haha, look for my tag. Okay, Dijon, so if you do create chaos, then you're going to get banned, so be careful. I don't mess around with Discord, so just respect the rules, respect the space. Make sure you read the rules, because yeah, that shit is really enforced. Before, Discord was complete Wild West. Everything went there, everything, right? Because I thought like, yeah, rules suck and stuff. But doing this for a couple of years and having faced with multiple incidents and multiple people, I just do not have the time or energy to do that. So just respect the rules, keep within them, and you will have no problems at all. Truffle says, any tips on proper FAE/humidity for tidal wave? Yeah, just treat it as any other core lover. Ember Phoenix says, okay, I heard of it before, but didn't know it would work for gnats. Too perfect. I'm the trash man. How's it going? First time catching one of these streams. Oh yeah, I definitely feel that. Cool. Welcome aboard, trash man. Aaron says, well, wood lovers grow on core. Some wood lovers, like zaps, but most of them no. And I think maybe you can get ovioids to grow on core as well. Becky says, every day is his birthday, always celebrating life. Oh, you. MS Carto says, thanks for the tip. I'll check out the bags. Right on. Good night, Jennifer. Good to see you again, and good to see you still around and growing. Hope you have a good one. Adam says, what if a strain mutated to be poisonous? That would be scary. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it'll happen like too quickly or anything like that. I don't know of any documented times that's happened, but I know it can happen with like plants, like spinach is starting to, mutate slowly to creating, so that they don't basically get massacred by humans for food. And, yeah, that stuff happens in nature all the time, like with the acacia trees and the deers in the savannah. Suddenly all these deers started dying, right? Or something like deers, maybe antelopes. They were all feeding on the acacia trees, and the trees communicated with each other because the deer population was getting too high, so they upped the tannin content, right, in the leaves, so that the deers eat it, and then it just builds up in their system, and then eventually they just pass away. Nobody really knows, like, at least as far as I know, nobody knows how they actually communicate with each other like that. Dad's tent says, just pull, not Dad's stent, just pull 2 jars of liquid culture multiplier out of the pressure cooker. Cost me cents instead of that $30 I was going to Waste, thanks for the tip again. Oh yeah, man. Yeah, I remember you. Congratulations. Heck yes, liquid culture is like one of the easiest things you can make. So good on you for listening and saving yourself a bunch of cash. Isaiah Davis says, if you get growth straight from a dry tissue sample, very old, no spores, I could still assume that is rhizomorphic / dikaryotic growth. Yes, yes, you can. And by the way, rhizomorphic isn't, well, okay, yeah, that's true. Never mind. Just a quick advertisement, self-advertisement here. Ooh, if you guys are interested in microscopy supplies or my mentorship services, some of you guys have taken it. 100% success rates over the years. If you want one-on-one personal help from me, then hit me up in my email. It's in the description. And also check out all the affiliate links. It really helps me out if you purchase stuff. These are all good companies that I can vouch for. I just actually took away one company because they didn't pay me for a while. But yeah, the rest of them are good. Use the code, get yourself a nice discount. And also, Mycolympics. If you guys haven't heard of it, it's the Mycology Olympics. I'm bringing them back. I used to host them a couple years back. I'm bringing them back for the Mycophile tier members, $4.99 tier members. So that's it. You just got to sign up on the website at MycoSage. It's in the description. And you'll also gain access to all of my videos. And you're going to be helping support my work for only $4.99 a month. Really helps me keep doing what I'm doing for you guys. So check it out and help yourself too. Truffles6477 says, 6, thanks, man. No problem. I don't know if I helped, but no problem. Yeah, good night, Aaron. Hope you have a good one. Steve says, should I pasteurize my beer? Nah, you should not pasteurize your beer. I don't know. Becky says, so is there a point in the process that we could see something that is supposed to be fun but turns poisonous before harvest? Nah, nah. You know, if that was a thing, you know, that it would be a lot more well known. I would not worry about it at all. I've never heard of anything like that happening. I'm the trash man says, our mini fridge that I have full of cultures died. So I'm making new culture clones of all the stuff I had in there. Currently have 12 jars of liquid culture going on right now. Cool. Carto says, I had Mycelium act as third party that can connect tree. Oh yeah. They can certainly do that as well. Carrying messages and nutrients between trees. I don't know if the acacia trees though had that kind of mycorrhizal relationship. I don't know. Maybe they did. Yeah, who knows? I would, if anybody wants to check it out right now, search on Google about the case that I described. Please do, and relay your findings for everybody here to know. Steve the Borg says, is it bad to drink liquid culture? Not really, no. Unless you're like, use too much sugar and you're diabetic or something. You shouldn't really be using much sugar at all. Just use a tiny amount of malt extract. Aaron says, why is TBC unstable so strong? So for those who don't know, it's a strain of shiitake, albino strain of shiitake. So TBC unstable is so strong because it's a mutant. It's very mutated, and oftentimes those kinds of mutants are very, very tasty. Very, very tasty, you know, very strong in taste. Travis Rogers says, just read the Paul Stamets' new book. It is totally awesome. Cool, cool. I didn't know he had a new book. Wow, I've actually caught up to chat. If you guys want to get some cool merch, Mycophilia merch, high quality, awesome stuff, be sure to check it out as well. Bill, thank you, Bill, for your generous PayPal donation. Really appreciate it, and it's great to see you. Thank you always for your support. Much love, much love. Yeah, for anybody who do want to throw a few shekels my way, just check in the description for the PayPal donation link. Don't do the YouTube super chat because they take 30%. 30%. So knock on wood. Knock on wood that I could stay here, because it would suck if I lose this. Adam says, did you ever get those Liberties started? No, because I lost. I don't know where the swabs went. I don't know where the swabs went, unfortunately. If I find it again, then yeah, I'll try. Google says acacia trees use a form of chemical defense and unique communication system involving the release of ethylene gas to warn neighboring trees. That's really cool. Ethylene gas. That's crazy. Natural intelligence. In my old channel, I used to have a video called Natural Intelligence where I sound like a total stoner just looking at like mushrooms when I, back when I used to show fruits, because on the old channel I did. Talking about, yeah, they're just natural intelligence. Like it wasn't that bad, but but people liked it. But yeah, natural intelligence is crazy stuff. Dro Dog says, did you make that flow hood yourself? No, no, no. I was given this by somebody a couple years ago who was upgrading to a bigger one. And this company is not really making much flow hoods anymore, as far as I'm aware. They were good while they lasted. I'm getting another company. Another company promised to send me a flow hood directly from them. That is a laminar flow hood, so I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be a little bigger. I may have to actually completely replace my still air box. Just kidding. I will not be replacing my still air box ever, because it always has a use. That use being, if you have contaminated plates or anything contaminated that you want to open up, you don't want to have a flow hood blowing all those spores, out into your area. Not only for your grows going on to not contaminate it, but also for your own health, because some of those spores are pretty nasty, and they're byproducts, the mold byproducts. And also another reason is so that when I'm trying to take spore prints, for example, right? I don't want to have like this thing, using the filter for 24, 48 hours, right? It's just a waste. And also for the fact that it'll also dry out the caps more. Now, of course, you could put like a shoebox on top of the caps while you're doing it in front of a flow hood. I know I'm going on a side rant here. But why not just do it in a still air box, Just makes sense. All right, where were we? What's up, Nathan? Good to see ya. Darn, I missed most of the live. Howdy though. It's been a good live. It's been a good live. I would definitely go back and watch it later on, man. Good to see ya. How you doing? Aaron says, how does one do the liberties? Caps to libertads in Coca Core. Grass, thanks in advance. Yeah, you can't do it in Coca Core, but you can do it in a lawn or like a pot with grass. You got to have some manure in there. Just a little, not fully manure like pool lovers, but like basically manure enriched soil and some grass. The thing is though, when you do it that way, it looks a lot different from, like, they look more like Mexican grass lovers or Florida grass lovers compared to how they would look like in a totally, in their natural habitat. Like if you naturally came upon them growing. How's it going, Jeremy's Closet? Isaiah Davis says, it started from spore. How many transfer does it usually take you to get to a dikaryotic growth you'll use for fruiting? I mean, dikaryotic growth is pretty much instant if you're going from spores. It's just mostly dikaryotic. Like if you want to get monokaryotic growth, that's the stuff that takes a couple transfers. But if you just want dikaryons from spores, it's just all over the place instantly. Now, if I get a plate and let's say I shoot some spore syringe in there and I get a bunch of growth going and I don't see any obvious contamination, the mycelium is growing nice and even, there's no weird patches or there's no like weird, what you call it, like it's, there's no like empty spots, asymmetry That's what I want to say. Complete asymmetry. Then I would just go straight. Well, first, if I really want to like save time and I just want to safeguard it, I would take a transfer onto another plate, and then I would take that plate and I would immediately spawn it to a jar so that I could see like what it will grow. And then if it did end up contaminating, let's say there was some hidden contaminants, then I have that bit of transfer I could use. Ja Hidez says, have you had any luck pasteurizing substrate in a pressure cooker? Yeah. Was thinking of doing 50 psi, 15 psi for 15 minutes. No, just having small amounts of contam with my CVG bucket tech. Oh, would I run into trouble? Okay, so if you're talking, okay, so that's not pasteurizing what you're talking about. That's sterilizing. Okay, or maybe partial sterilization. But definitely not pasteurizing. Pasteurizing, you don't want to get to the temperature that you would need to get 15 psi. You want to be well below that. You want to be between, at least about 145 up to 165. That's it. Okay. If you stay in that temperature for a couple of hours, that would be a good pasteurization. But we're talking about CVG. I thought you're talking about a substrate that really needs to be pasteurized, like manure or compost, what have you, rabbit droppings, whatever, even worm castings, really. In that case, you will want to do a proper pasteurization. Yes, but since you're not working with that, you don't even have to. You could just bucket tech. If you're having contam issues, right? What makes you think that that contam is coming from your non-nutritious substrate, which is what CVG is? It is most likely coming from your grains or somewhere in the process of making your spawn, whatever went into it, right? Your sterile technique. Did you sterilize the grains enough? Is the inoculant that you're using clean? These are the things that are important. Like I got core in a bucket over there from 7 months ago that I haven't touched. I check on it periodically to see if it's fine, and it's always fine. Still smells like coca core, still looks like coca core. It's not slimy. That's the beauty of core, and that's why we use core-based substrates. That's why core has taken over the whole growing scene for years now. Whereas before we used to use things like manure because we thought that we needed that nutrition, but it turns out you don't. They just, they get plenty of nutrition from just the grains. So we just need cocoa core for moisture retention and also for the cellulite and structure of the mushrooms. The trash man says, how important is a flow hood in your experience? I'm a broke college student and have like no space, and I've only had contam issues a few times. You don't need a flow hood. A still air box used well is superior to a flow hood, to a laminar flow hood even. Even a laminar flow hood is superior. But you got to know how to use it. That's the thing. And it's not going to be as easy to use as a flow hood. You're not going to have as much freedom of movement as you can with the flow hood. That's the big difference. It's comfort, and with flow hood, because it's more comfortable, you're gonna be able to work faster as well. Still airbox, you don't want to work fast because it's gonna work too fast because that's the whole thing. You don't want to make it a turbulent airbox, right? So yeah, that's basically it. But if we're just talking about in terms of sterile work that you can produce, a still airbox is technically better. My advice though is if you're using a still air box, you get the biggest size tub that you can afford or that you have the space for. I bought the biggest Sterilite tub. It's like 110 liters in size. It's massive. It's wonderful. And don't be afraid to make the armholes big. For your armholes, take a tub of coffee, like those big tin like coffee shits. Just like make it that size. Like outline it with a pen, right? And what I like to do personally is to take a soldering iron and just solder it. I don't really recommend using a drill because the shock of that could crack your tub. Another way is obviously you're in a dorm, so you don't have access to like a gas stove, but if you had access to a gas stove, heat it up and then just push it in. That's the easiest way. Um, yeah, the armholes being big is actually good. In the past, we used to have glove boxes because people thought like, oh, we can't have any airflow until it turned out actually using a glove box creates more air circulation. Same thing with a small hole. It's going to create more air turbulence because every time you move your hand, the suction between your hand created between your hand and the small hole is going to be greater compared to a big hole inside a room with little airflow, which it already should be anyways. You got to close the doors, close the windows, stop your fans. Um, then you're actually creating less airflow. If you want to test this, take a take a take a match. I mean, not to, take a candle, right, and put it next to where the armholes, and just see like the difference in the flame movement. Less flame movement equals less airflow, basically. I'm talking so much, my throat's getting kind of scratchy, so. Got a merch store. Check it out in the description. Steve the Borg says, I've been playing with contamination. I think every kid should learn to grow mush as well as cooking, even if it's just an inky cap so they can learn how mold spreads and bacteria grows. Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's definitely a good skill that, the funny thing is I was like, this short got recommended to me yesterday about how you can kind of like clone plants using agar, like an expensive plant variety, right? So they would just take like this little leaf, cut it into little pieces, first sterilize it, like in a lab in front of a flow hood. And then I read the comments, and the comments were all like, "Oh, this is like the most complicated way to propagate that I've ever seen." And I'm like, like this is like super easy, you know. And then I saw one comment of somebody who was like, anybody that grows mushrooms, this is like super easy, you know? So I'm like, damn, but if I didn't know how to grow it, that would look like some serious, intense, like difficult stuff. But in reality, like if you, it's not that difficult, you know? But I could totally see how it seems really intimidating and stuff. I'm the trash man says, have you ever been into growing plants? I'm always happy. Speak of the devil. I'm always happy when I have mushrooms and plant grows going at the same time. I love plants and I've tried it, but unfortunately, I'm not very successful at it. The only thing that I've consistently been able to keep alive up till this point, and I tried so many times, for whatever reason, things didn't work out. Like I did everything by the book, but it just didn't work out. Maybe my place doesn't get enough sunlight. But the only thing that's worked out well is succulents. I'm good with succulents. Mostly because you don't really do anything. But one, like I had a jade plant, and I don't know why, but it just started dying out. So I split it into 3 separate plants a couple years ago, and they're just like getting bigger and bigger. So there you go. Steve the Borg says, can you recook a contaminated jar and re-inoculate? No, don't do that. Because all the junk that the contamination created is still inside that jar, and that stuff is not good for the mycelium. And it's going to weaken your mycelium to the point where they're going to get another contam into them. I actually have like a couple videos on this topic. It's called "It's Okay If You Sterilize," right? I think that was the title. And there's another one as well. It's a more recent one. I think it's like the second last video that I made. There's a section in there where I talk about that. So please do check it out because it's a good one. Ember Phoenix says, do you have it? And I'm sorry to use a nasty example, but this is an example that I used. Like, okay, so like poo, right? You don't want to eat poo. Nobody wants to eat poo. It's not good for us, right? It's nasty. But then it's like making the argument that, hey, but if you sterilize poo in a 15 psi pressure cooker or in an autoclave for some amount of time, then clearly it's edible. And the answer to that is no, because all the nasty stuff is still in there. It does not make it edible, right? Amber Phoenix says, do you have a video on dikaryotic versus monokaryotic? Sorry, I'm still super new, but that sounds kind of important for me to know. No, I do not. And really, you don't really have to worry about it at all. Unless you want to I mean, especially if you're new, just don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Creepy Basil says, Mosh, love. What's up, Creepy Basil? I'm a trash man says, I've always been worried about my core being the source of contam, so that's really nice to know. Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, core, not all core is made equal. Most core comes from Sri Lanka, um, but it depends on how the company that you're buying it from, which is basically kind of a middleman, processes it. Some of them will wash it multiple times to get rid of the salt content and other debris. Low quality core will have like sticks in there, leaves, sometimes plastic, sometimes band-aids. But technically, all core that you buy is sterilized before it reaches you. But not all core is equal. Travis Rogers says, I watched a video of a guy using bat guano. Your thoughts on this? On a previous chat, some people expressed concerns for diseases, rabbit mushrooms, maybe. I mean, it's definitely possible, yeah. I know some people use bat guano. I think here's the thing. If you know what you're doing, then anything, if you know what you're doing, it's fine. But if you don't, then just stay with the basics. Okay, know what you're doing before you do it, or accept the, risks. Because you can make almost, anything work. Adam Thomas says, but will manure make tastier fruits? Okay, so that's a good question. And in reality, very, 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 like a minuscule amount, maybe like 1% more or less. There was a study on this, and the results were very, very small. And this is what I've always said. There's no difference. I mean, there's practically virtually no difference. If there was a big difference, then a lot more people will be using manure. But yeah, there's not much difference. But manure will make a little bit healthier looking fruits, because of the sheer fact. Oh my gosh, thank you for the $11 donation to the person who sent it to me. I'm not going to say your name just because I don't know you, and I don't know if you want your name to be said, but thank you so much on the PayPal. I really appreciate it. And yes, 11 is indeed a lucky number. I love 11. I've been keeping an eye out on angel numbers a lot, and that's crazy. I just paused, I put my finger on the thing, and on the live count, it was stopped at 72 minutes and 11 seconds. So just as I was talking about 11, that's crazy. Thank you, thank you. Appreciate it a lot. And I appreciate the luck as well. But yeah, back to your question, Adam. Will manure make tastier fruits? Yeah, not really. It'll be a lot messier, that's for sure. But if you have access to a bunch of free manure, like I know some people do with horses or cows and what have you, even deer, any basically herbivore, is usable. It's free substrate. How is it going to be? How is it going, Spawn to be wild? Rebecca Smith says, I have the munchies. I have enough cookie dough for 300 cookies, but I'm already in bed. Holy cow. Uh-oh. Control Alt Delete says it's not just agar. No, it's also the plant and but I mean, essentially it pretty much is. Laia Fields says biggest downside to tents, like a 5x5 to keep the room warm, but using tubs. I don't know to keep the room warm. A tent would keep a room warm. Anyways, I'll talk about the first part, biggest downside to tents. Well, first, it's not necessary if you're looking to grow core lovers, which is what most people do. It's not necessary. Another downside is obviously because you have a lot more moving parts. It's a little bit more work to dial in. And also cleaning. You got to make sure that it's always clean. The humidifier and stuff is not creating some weird, nasty stuff. And yeah, cleaning basically. Like if you get contamination in there, it's much bigger than like a shoebox or a tub to clean out. And also, oh, that's pretty much it. Now there's a lot of upsides to tents as well. So but if you're growing like the most common species that most people grow, you don't need tents anyways. Like a Martha tent. Like a Martha tent. Yeah, that's what I thought. Laya Field says, now I said it goofy. Just like, now I said it goofy. Just like a clean room, easier to heat than a big ass room. My house stays like 50 degrees. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, well, you won't need a humidifier if you're going to be using tubs in that room. Isaiah Davis says, if mycelium ends up thin during grain colonization, does that mean hidden contam? No. In fact, hidden contam is mostly the opposite. If your mycelium is super thick, right, that is a sign of hidden contam. Yo, Jeremy's Closet. Thank you for the $10 super chat. But just for future reference, please use the PayPal because YouTube just took $3 out of that. But I appreciate it nonetheless. Yes, Rebecca, super thick mycelium. Sage Meister, question for you. By the way, sent you a PayPal. Oh, thank you. Oh my gosh. I appreciate it, Jeremy. That was you. What is the most profound / interesting thing that mushrooms have taught you along the way through consuming or cultivating? Oh man, there's a lot of things, but I explain it best in my videos because I actually made 3 videos from my old channel that I posted on the nightclub channel. That's just type in Sage's Intergalactic Nightclub on the YouTube search bar. And it's called Taste Experiences That Changed My Life. I have 3 episodes up there. So watch those. I go into what each of them taught me. And those were like the foundational experiences. Thanks for asking. I think you'll really enjoy those videos because I go into real big detail about exactly how and why it changed everything. Thank you again, Jeremy. You're awesome. Travis, fresh, but please don't use the P word. Just say like umami or flavor. Cool, so I caught up to chat. Becky says, can you elaborate on what you mean by super thick? Are we talking a crowded canopy or the fruit itself? I'm talking about the mycelium, nothing to do with the fruits. Check out my video. It's called Do You Have Clean Spawn? Just look at my most popular videos. There's one called Do You Have Clean Spawn? And I go into detail about embedded contaminations and hidden contams. Nobody was talking about it before I posted that video. And now it's a little bit more common knowledge. Like when I posted that video, the reason I posted that video was because I would have people who would be like, there's no such thing as hidden contams, there's no such thing as embedded contaminants. Now it's like accepted. But at the time, nobody was talking about it. So I brought it first to the attention of the scene. And now it's a lot more common. There's a lot more people talking about it. It's weird. It's weird how it was so rarely talked about before and denied when it's just basic science. Becky says, I saw a video about the stems and the size are fuzzy, etc. No, it's not that one. So yeah, since I've caught up to chat, I should say, I'm going to do a little bit of advertisement. Check out the description for cool discount codes. Each sale helps your mycophile here, your favorite mycophile. And check out my website. That is our safe space, okay? That's where I post everything that I cannot post here or anywhere else for that matter. 100 exclusive videos on there, tons of benefits. You can compete in the Mycolympics where you get cool prizes sent by your old mycophile here. And yeah, they're cool stuff. If you want mentorship and stuff like that, places to inquire there. Just check it out. It's a good time. What's up, Andy? Good morning, everyone. Greetings from Sweden. Greetings to you, Andy. Hope you're having a good one. Skylander Sky says, green tea or black tea? I'm a green tea lover personally. I love both. I love both. I also like white tea, you know. I also like, what's the other one? You know, like pu'er tea, um, roasted teas. I like tea in general. I don't drink it every day, but I like it. Recently, though, I've been drinking more black tea than green tea. But yeah, like real Chinese or Japanese green tea is fantastic. There's just so much variety. It's nothing like the kind you buy at a supermarket, you know, and outside of those countries, really. Nothing like it. What's up, Rainbow? Good to see ya. Hey, what's up, Sage? I've been waiting to send you an email, but I've really been slacking. Go, man. Awesome to see ya. How are you doing? Adam Thomas says Windows screen for drying toxic. I don't see why or how. What do you think for air dry? I don't know. I know a lot of people use it. I haven't heard about anything about toxicity. I don't want to say I want to say no, but I don't want to, you know, because I don't fully know about that. So I don't want to say definitively. But ultimately, I would recommend just getting a dehydrator. I just dehydrated. I just did a 48-hour run, dehydrating limes, dried limes. Jeremy's Closet says, I just tipped you to market your 3 videos. Great way to bump up watch time. Well, you know, those videos basically like explain exactly your topics, so I thought you were curious, and I go into detail in those videos about what I learned. And honestly, it would be a bit little too long. Like, I don't know, I gotta rack my brain because it's been a while since I thought about it. But in general, it's just about reading people better, finding out who my real friends were, um, kind of, kind of. Understanding that my perspective is actually very valid and what I've been saying is actually very valid, and that the people around me, um, you know, or like any kind of a lot of negative comments and stuff, I just realized they're either jealous that they don't really have like a good opinion of their own, or they are, um, I don't know, they don't have basically the best interests for me, and I need to think about that for myself. Because before, you know, you see, like, I don't want to get too much into it because, like, the video basically describes it really well, and I don't want to misrepresent what I actually learned. So, yeah, if you want to know about it, watch those videos. You're not going to regret it. Those are good videos. What's up, Spot to be wild? Hello from South Africa. What's up? What's up? Drodog says, "What was slash is your intergalactic nightclub? Is it a thing of the past?" No, it's actually my other channel. Um, I think I should have a description in check in the description of this video. It should say like my other channel or something like that. If you can't find it, let me know. If you can't find it, let me know as well. Andy Lee says they just made the fly agaric not good in Sweden. Swedish government loves prohibition. That sucks. That sucks, especially because it's got such a big history with the Vikings. The berserkers. Look at this. It's like a ring or a bracelet. Well, guys and gals, seems like we've pretty much exhausted all the questions. So yeah, I will see you guys next time. And again, discount codes in the description. Check out my website, Mycolympics, available for the Mycophile tier members starting from this month. The topic of this month is the coolest mushroom fruits. So get snapping, and don't forget your card in the picture for the rules of the Mycolympics. Just go to the Discord server and go to the rules and announcements, and it'll tell you what you need to have in your picture, because the picture needs to be made for the Mycolympics. It can't be like any picture you snap, just a picture in general. It has to have the name card, Mycophiles Discord server, your username, etc. It's real simple. It sounds more complicated than it is. So yeah, and I got a bunch of comments here. Skylander Skies, thank you for being you. Gotta head out. Have a great time. Cheers, Skylander. Thank you for being here, and I appreciate you. Drodog says, I don't see a link for the nightclub in the description, only links to other things. Okay, so to find a nightclub, just type in Sage's Intergalactic Nightclub in the YouTube search bar, and it'll pop up. The icon is like an alien. Good night, MS Carto. Yeah, glad to hear that, Jeremy. And thank you again for your generous donations, man. Really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed those videos. Yeah, I'd be happy to talk about them later on. Yeah, they're pretty long. Like the last one is like 30 minutes. It's like I take a hike and just talk about those experiences, and it's a good one. All right, guys, have a great day or night. I hope you guys have a great weekend, and much love, and I will see you guys on the flip side. Bye-bye.